This is the extension of the 4-lane that started from between Nadi and Lautoka, so from Nesoso, where the 4 lanes is there to date. We're extending that all the way to Novutu roundabout, but at Lomo Lomo we'll do a bypass to the village, 9 kilometers of bypass, and stopping at Warambatia, and then from there we'll continue duplication of the existing lane. So that's the first of them. It'll cost us about $100 million to do that job. So that is one of the projects, and the second one is the a freeway between Suva and Nadi. I think this is something that has been discussed before. You can see the drawings were down there in front of us. So it's from Mendakutu straight to Nadi Back Road. There is about 107 kilometers at the moment, but I believe by the time we finish with all our detailed design, should be about 120 k's or something around 20 k's. And the cost of it is about 1.5 billion we're looking at now. But this is just pre-feasibility, and then once we get into it, and talking to Minister, he's happy for us to go ahead with this. So both projects, for the 4-laning between Nadi and Lautoka, we're already in the design stages, so we expect to start construction 24 and then get all our detailed designs sorted now.
Just in respect of the Nadi Lautoka, as you know, part of Nadi Lautoka is 4-laned, just coming out of the airport towards Naisoso. Then of course there's an existing 4-lane in Lomo Lomo, just past Sambeto turn off the Lomo Lomo flats. So the idea is to do the balance of about 17.5 kilometers of 4-laning. We want to ensure that it's also built to climate resilient standards. So the idea is to get all the cabling underground all the way from Nadi to Lautoka, all the electricals, the TFL, and of course ensuring that Water Authority Fiji gets all the pipes and all of that in tow together with it. And that 100 million cost reflects all of those works to be able to ensure that we have, the footpaths, the street lights, footpaths all the way from Lautoka essentially to Nadi, get all the street lights, get all the underground cabling done. As the CEO said, that we're looking at the construction starting in 2024, which gives them time. They've already started some design works.
Yes, sir.
I know some people had said there's no work has been done. Obviously there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes, as you can see from the diagrams that have been put up. And in terms of how we'll be funding this, obviously through some budget support. We're already having a couple of discussions with some of development partners who are quite keen on providing assistance in terms of financial, whether there's a grant component or some loan or concession loan component. That's some of the things that we are currently will be negotiating at least in the next year to 18 months or so, with the construction to start in 2024. This will make life a lot easier for those people in particular residing between Nadi and Lautoka, and of course in Nadi and Lautoka. Nadi and Lautoka, as you know, is becoming more like Suva and Nasuri. And you can see that the land use is also changing between the two cities, or Nadi soon to be made a city, but at least between Nadi and Lautoka. So again, it sort of adds to that. And I think if you then link it up to the second project, what the CEO is talking about, which is the direct line you see, essentially just outside of Lami, all the way to Nadi Back Road. As he pointed out that it's about 107 to 120 kilometers between those 2 points. So if you have a freeway concept, a tollway, freeway, it could be perhaps a toll, but even if it's just a freeway, you can set the speed limit at 110 kilometers with 70 miles. You could easily travel within an hour. You could be living in somewhere near Navosa and could get to Suva within 30 minutes. So it means that the population can spread out a lot more. The people who own the lands in Navosa and Nanronga up there in Serua and Namosi, the value of the land, the interior part of the land will also go up. There will be demand, people want to build homes, etc. But it also means that we can, from a national planning strategic perspective, require that all freight trucks that currently you see meandering around the coast, either on King's Road or via Queen's Road, it will become compulsory for them to use the freeway. So you have only essentially one-way route that they can use. It doesn't slow down traffic in other parts. The wear and tear is only on one stretch of the road. In particular, those trucks that are carting goods between the two ports, Lautoka and Suva, or Suva and Nadi, which will mean that the flow of traffic will be good. It will also mean that the wear and tear on the other roads will be reduced. So it ticks a number of boxes. And so in that, we're looking at about 2 years of design and construction to start in around about 2025, the actual physical construction to people to be on the ground. Normally with these large projects, we have normally a number of contractors. They can be designated, 20 kilometers each, whatever it may be, different sections. In that way, you can get it up and running fairly quickly, but you can also ensure quality control. And there's also competition between the contractors too, which in some countries what they do is they also have some type of a bonus system, incentives. The towers in Malaysia, the KL towers, the 2 towers weren't built by one company. The two companies. Whoever completed first and better quality actually got a bonus. So you can build that kind of concept within our roads here. Economically, it's highly significant because it opens up VT level. As you would also know, if you look at the map, there's already a road that goes up on the west coast of Valley Road, goes all the way up to Bukuya. And Bukuya, then if you turn turn left, you go down to Nadi, Nasuri Highlands. If you keep on going straight, you'll end up all the way in Ba. So, it also makes those roads a lot more accessible. So people who are suddenly in remote areas suddenly are no longer in a remote area. So it does open up enormous potential for VT level, which we believe can be realized through this road connectivity and construction. So we're obviously working on this behind the scenes, doing quite a lot of work, and we want to ensure that these timelines that have been put in place, and we've been discussing that, will obviously be adhered to. Normally when you have, in particular, large construction works, as you've seen, and this is one of the reasons why outsourcing is really good. See, when you have a particular department and you have people working in that particular department and you don't outsource, you're limited by the number of people who work there. Right, so the capacity is limited. But if you are going to do outsourcing, there's a number of companies there. So a lot more companies can actually be employed to carry out a lot of projects simultaneously. Now, if we said to IFRA to do all the construction in-house at the moment, then it'll be very limited. But at the moment, there's, how many companies you got at the moment working?
About 10.
About 10 companies, right? Now, there will be some subcontractors too from that. So they're employing people, so it creates a lot of employment. So a large project like this obviously will create a lot of jobs, enormous amounts of jobs. So, the people living in the interior parts, a lot of them could be hired, they would be close to home, they don't have to travel long distances. And as a contractor, you would want to then hire people who live close by to your construction site. So they would be given first preference, in terms of some of the areas, the skill set that they may have that they could utilize. So it would be huge impact. You can imagine, as the CEO highlighted, it'll cost $1.5 billion over a period of, say, 6 years. That's a good amount of money being spent in the community. Even with this Fijian $100 million, you're Lautoka at Nadi, 17.5 kilometers. Again, huge demand for people to come up with the skill sets and they'll be employed. It also leads to job creation significantly.